Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. This is Bringing in the House. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again. Happy Wednesday. Just want to say shout out to everyone that's watching. In spite of COVID, we are just praying for everyone, keeping everyone in our prayers because this is a very trying time for all of us, okay? But to take it away, we're all familiar with the phrase dancing up a storm. Well, tonight's guest has been dancing up a storm most of his life. He was lead choreographer at Libertyland Amusement Theme Park for nearly a decade. He was a dancer for the Memphis Grizzlies NBA dance team for 4 years. Let's give it up for the well-renowned choreographer, Donald Frison.
You, Mia. How's it going?
I'm great. How are you?
How's it going?
We're
I'm
great.
doing good. I'm doing really good. I'm blessed. I'm in Sarasota, Florida. That's where I'm living now, in Sarasota, Florida. I've been here for about 4 years, going on 5 years now, working with a West Coast Black Theater company. So yeah, it's been going great for me. Like I said, I'm very blessed.
Yes, you are, Donald. So, Donald, you grew up in Memphis, Tennessee.
So how's it been going with you? It's good to see you again, Miss Milli Mills.
Thank you. It's going very well. I'm so glad to see you. And we may have a little bit.
Yeah, born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm the youngest. You know, okay. So I just want to tell you a little bit. I'm the youngest of 13. Mil, I'm the youngest of 13 kids. I had 6 sisters and 6 brothers. So it's so much fun growing up in a big family like that. But out of 13 kids, only 3 danced, right? And out of the 13, there were a set of twins born, brothers, Terry and Jerry Frison. They were also dancers, and I mean great dancers. They were about 5, 6 years older than I was, but they were amazing dancers growing up. And so I would follow them to different talent shows that they would do, because I would always want to dance with them, Mia. But that was one thing that they would never let me is dance with them, because I guess because I was a lot younger than them. But what they didn't know was the magic that I had, They didn't know the magic that I had in me. And I just wanted to get out on that floor and express myself and just show everybody, what I was made of and what I was growing into, I just love dancing so much, It's been part of my life since I guess, can walk, I started choreographing at the age of 10. At the age of 10, I started to choreograph. Having older sisters and older siblings, they had kids that were my age. So I had nieces and nephews who were my age or older. I had some younger ones also, but when we would have house parties, when they would have house parties, they would put all the kids in the back room, to get away from the grown folks. This is a grown folks party, so all the kids would have to go into the back room. But me, I wanted to be up there where the music was and dancing. So I was like, okay, how can I get up there and dance? So I took my nieces and my nephews, and I made up a dance. And after doing that routine, I went to the living room where the party was going on. I'm like, we got a routine that we want to show you all. We got a routine we want to show you all. So they let us dance at the party. And from then on, every time they would have a party, they would have all the kids to get together and dance. So that's how we got to go to every house party we ever had. I'm sorry, we ever had. yeah, that was my first time choreographing at the age of 10 with my nieces and nephews.
Wow.
And I've been there ever since. Ever since.
Wow, that's amazing, Donald. That's amazing. You know, I'm so honored I had the privilege to attend college with you. You remember the days at University of Arkansas in Pine Bluff? So
Yeah.
that's where I first saw you dance, Donald.
Yeah.
Amazing. You were
You
amazing
know,
and amazing now. Hmm?
thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. You know, you mentioned Liberty Land, being a dancer at Liberty Land. You know, I auditioned for that company twice and did not get the job. You know, and so I got a scholarship to UAPB, to University of Arkansas, and I went to college. You know, after auditioning for Liberty Land twice and not making it, I went off to college, and I did a year there in college. And being there on a music scholarship, I was in the choir. So I had a choir rehearsal every evening at 6:30. So one evening on the way to choir rehearsal, let me tell you about faith. On the way to choir rehearsal, I'm walking down the hall in the Fine Arts Theater, right? You remember that building, the Fine Arts Theater? So
Yeah.
I'm walking down the hall, and as you come to the end of the hall, you can either turn right or you can turn left. But there was a bulletin board right there at the end of that hall. And what was on that bulletin board, Mill, was a flyer saying, audition for Liberty Land in Memphis, Tennessee. Okay? So I'm in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. I've already auditioned for this twice and did not make it. So it would be the third time. You know what I did with that flyer, Mill? I took that flyer off that bulletin board and I went to choir rehearsal. But I went straight to Professor McGee. You remember Professor
Yeah.
McGee? I went straight to him and I went, I'm not gonna be here for my finals. He said, what do you mean my finals? I'm going to be in a show. And I showed him the flyer. He said, what? I said, yeah, I'm in a show. And I walked out of the room, you know, and Ezell stood up. You remember Ezell Williams, my best friend? He stood up and went, where you going, man? And I just walked out of the room. I said, I'm going to be in a show. I want to dance, you know. I had already did a year of college, you know, but so I went around to all my professors and I'm not going to be here for my finals. I'm going to be in a show. And after I went to my last professor and told him that, I went back to my dorm room, hall, and I packed up all my clothes and I put it in my clothes and all my belongings in my car. I had a Ford Granada at the time. It was a brown Ford Granada at the time I had. And I packed all my things in that car and I drove back to Memphis. I got home and my mother was like, what are you doing here? I said, Mom, I'm gonna be in this show. Isn't that show you auditioned for twice and you didn't make it? I said, yeah, but this would be the third time. I said, why is this flyer up in my school in Arkansas for a show back here in Memphis? You know, I said, I think it's trying to tell me something. I think God is trying to tell me something, you know? And so I started to practice for weeks for that audition. And Bill, let me tell you, my mother surprised me the very next day. She had went out and bought a stereo system for me. And at the time, we lived in this big old house. So my front porch was really big. I used it as a stage. And so I would practice on my front porch every evening. And cars would start to drive by and slow up and watch me rehearse and practice. So end of the second week, cars was coming by and stopping on my street, getting out, sitting on their cars and watching me practice on my porch, dancing, you know. So that was audience. And so I went to that audition meal, and when I auditioned, the director was like, come here. She said, what does your mother teach? What does your mother teach? I said, my mother's not a dance teacher. I said, I don't teach dance at all. Where did you learn to dance like that? I'm like, well, I'm a natural, you know, I just know how to dance, you know. Where did you take class? I said, I've never been able to afford to take class, so I've never taken class before. I taught myself to dance. Wow. Can you sing? And so I sang a song for them. It was Bobby Brown, Girlfriend. Now, when I auditioned for them the first 2 times, I didn't sing. I didn't sing at all, you know, because I really couldn't. I could carry a tune, but I couldn't sing, you know, until I got off to college. And, you know, I was the only one dancing in school. I was the only one dancing. Everybody else would sing when we had these talent shows. Everybody else would sing, you know. So I go back to that story in a minute. But she asked me if I could. Yes, I could sing. So I sang the song, and they asked me to move over to the side for a minute. And they did a whole lot of more auditions. And the new media came in, and John Anson, he was another director. He came to me and he said, Donald, we'd like for you to do your audition over. And I'm like, really? Why? I said, what happened? I said, did I do something wrong? He was like, no, we just want to put our best people on the news. I was like, really? You know, so that was my first TV spot, you know? I'm like, if they put me on the news, you know, to advertise these shows here, I know that they're gonna hire me. I know they're gonna hire me. So I got the call back. The audition was on Wednesday. The call back was the weekend, that upcoming weekend. So I was supposed to be there Saturday, but I didn't go. This is so crazy, excuse me. I did because I had Freddie Jackson concert tickets for Saturday night. So I go to the callback Saturday. I went to the concert. So I went to call back on Sunday. And when I walked into the building, the director was like, oh my goodness, Donald, where have you been? We've been trying to contact you. You were supposed to be here yesterday. What happened? I'm like, yesterday? I thought I was supposed to be here today. I thought my callback was on a Sunday. Say, no, it was okay, Saturday and Sunday. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then the choreographer goes, well, can you go over there and learn this number, this piece, these guys, and we need to see you do it with them on the stage. And I tell you, I went over there and it was to James Brown. I Feel Good. I'll never forget it. So I learned the routine and got up there and ate it up. And I could hear the choreographer going, I told you it would be nothing for him to do this. I'm like, whoa. And the choreographer at the time was Eric Henderson, another dancer out of Memphis who had gone on to work with Janet Jackson and Michael Jackson, Angela Winbush, and George Michael, and a lot of different other artists. You know, he was the lead dancer in Janet Jackson's video, When I Think of You. Yeah, so he was the choreographer at the time at Liberty Land, right? So I got that job. I worked Liberty Land for like 8 to 10 years. I worked with that company. And I started out as an ensemble dancer. And by the 3rd year, I was the choreographer and the leading man in the show. So, and that all come from working so hard at trying to be the best that I can be at what I do. And working during the times at Liberty, and I got the opportunity to go to Star Search. You know, Hollywood, California, with Ed McMahon. So we were, it was a dance group called Street Scene. We were called Street Scene. There were 5 of us, 2 guys, 3 girls. And so we sent a videotape into Star Search to be on the show, and they called us. We sent the videotape in July, and they called us within like 3 weeks. Said that they wanted us to be on their August 5th show. You know, it was, when I got that call, man, I tell you the truth. Because from the age of 13, I would always watch Star Search on the Wednesday nights. I would watch Star Search before I would go to bed.
Wow.
Me and my mother.
And how many times did you win? Was it like you won like 4 times, Don?
So, and one, I'm we were 5-time champions on Star Search.
Wow.
5-time champions on Star Search.
Amazing.
Right? And I knew that I was going to be on that show, Mia. I'm dancing in my living room thinking no one is around. So my sister, and she starts laughing. She said, "What are you doing?" And me not being like a regular dancer, street dance and things like that, I'm trying to do turns and jumps and kicks and leaps and things like that. And so I'm like, I'm gonna be on that show one day. And she was, I said, I'm gonna be on Star Search one day. At the age of 13, she said, yeah, right. So walked out the door. I tell you, years later, I was on Star Search, you know, and I looked her right in the face and said, I told you I was gonna be on Star Search with the NBA. You know, I'm sitting down watching the Atlanta Hawks play, maybe the Orlando Magic or somebody. Halftime came along and the dancers danced. And I'm sitting there going, wow, man, I wish they had guy dance, you know, in the NBA. You know, I would love to do something like that, you know. But it was 5 years before I had the opportunity to dance. I was off doing musical theater. Doing different musical theater shows, Five Guys Named Mo, Ain't Misbehaving, and things like that. And so when I got back to Memphis, after doing those musical theater shows, a friend of mine said, Donald, we got a NBA team and called the Memphis Grizzlies, and they're gonna audition, they're auditioning for dancers. I said, really? And they're auditioning for male dancers. I'm really? I went down there that weekend, auditioned, and when I got there, the choreographer, I had done shows with her. And so went through that audition and got that job. And it was not because I knew the choreographer, because the director, Jocelyn, was like, when we had to go across the floor, individual things, she was like, that's my favorite. She said, that's my favorite right there, right? So I didn't get the job because of somebody I knew. I got the job because of my talent. And I worked in the NBA for 4 years.
Yes, I know.
The Memphis Grizzlies, 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, and after that, so I moved to Sarasota, Florida. Yeah.
Well,
Go ahead with your questions. I know I'm just rambling on.
It's okay, Donald.
I'm excited to talk to you. You know, it's been so many years. I just want to tell you everything that I've done.
Yeah, I know. And
yeah, go ahead. Ask me.
I'm so proud of you, Don. I mean, we always knew that you would do big things, though. You know, when we were in college, everybody would say, that guy right there, he can sing and dance. Because that's when you really started breaking out as a dancer when we were in college. You remember you were on a talent show they used to call the Vesper Choir talent show or something like that. And you did the Luther Vandross song, Wait for Love. And I think that's when that's when you made your debut as a singer. Yeah.
Exactly. But wait a minute. That Wait for Love, you know, like I told you earlier, I was the only one dancing in those talent shows. Everybody else was singing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to sing. I want to sing too. You know, I love the crowd yelling for me while I'm dancing, but I want them to yell for me while I'm singing. Yeah. So, Mia, one song, Wait for Love. Yeah. And I practiced on it for 2 weeks. I first started to practice on that song, and people would walk past my dorm room and knock at my door and ask me to quiet down or to be quiet or stick to dancing, you know, negative comments, you know. And it was like that for maybe a week. But by the end of that second week or the beginning of that third week, the knocks were different and the comments were different, you know? And it was like, hey, is that you in there? Sounds great, man. You want to be in the next talent show? You know, comments like that started coming. And I was like, yeah, okay. I'm ready to sing now, you know. But I kept practicing. And that talent show, when we had that talent show and I did Wait for Love, that was from all that rehearsal. Now, Wait for Love didn't sound like that when I performed it. It didn't sound like that when I first started practicing with it, you know, because like I said, I could only carry a tune. I was in the choir, but ensemble, you know, I wasn't like this solo singer at all. And I worked on that one song, Love by Luther Vandross, and debuted it at that Vespa Choir Challenge show. Get it, Mill?
Yes, yes. Speaking of songs, Donald, speaking of songs, you have a new song, and you were telling me about before we went on live. You've written well, I think you had your hand in writing, but you got a really hot song that you choreographed to and you dance. What's that title of the song? We want to show the audience a clip of what you do. Introduce them to your song.
It's called Party All the Time.
Party All the Time.
It's called Party All the Time. It was written and produced by a producer out of Memphis, Tennessee. Akpan Ilion is his name. He was a producer and he was a writer of the song. I was a co-writer on it, and it's called Party All the Time. And it's just a feel-good song, a dance song. It sort of has a R&B house feel to it, you know, like that. But it's a great song. It's a great song. I hope you all enjoy. You can find it. Well, right now you can't find it anywhere, but I'm going to be uploading it, and you'll be able to find it on different social media outlets, Apple Music, iTunes, you know, Pandora. It'll be streaming on those different places like that. But it's in this early stages, so I hope you enjoy it.
Okay. Well, we might have a video clip. Their producers. Oh yeah, go ahead and tell them too where they can buy it, where they can buy that single. Can they buy it on iTunes as well? Okay. For you now.
Well, you can't buy that one on iTunes, but I do have one. I do have a ballad that you could buy on iTunes. It's called One Love.
Okay.
And it was also produced by Akpan Ilion out of Memphis, Tennessee. It's a great song. The song about tired of being alone, you know, wanting to find that one love to spend the rest of my life. It's a great song. So you should go get it. iTunes, everybody.
Yay.
And you can, if you want to listen, go to YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube page. You can also hear One Love there too.
Yeah, YouTube. Your YouTube channel, and you can subscribe at Donald Frison. You can subscribe there.
Yes, okay. Exactly.
Okay. So we're gonna take a look at that. And if you want to follow him on Facebook, he's right there. You can go to www.facebook.com/Donald.Frison, or you can go to his page. He has a page called, his fan page is Dancing with Donald. Dancing with Donald on Facebook. Like that page, you know, and a lot of his performances are there. And so at this time, our producers, I believe they might be ready. We can go ahead and play them just a clip. We can show the world what Donald is all about.
Yeah. Like you
up northeast to the west coast. Stand up, hands up, cause we're about to do the most. Down south, up northeast to the west coast. Stand up, hands up, cause we're about to do the most. Down south, northeast to the west coast. Stand up, hands up, cause we're about to do the most. Down south, northeast to the west coast. Stand up, hands up, cause we're about to do the most. Down south, hands up, up north, hands up, east to the west coast, east to the west coast. Down south, hands up north, hands up, east to the west coast, cause we're about to do the most. Down south, hands up north, hands up, east to the west coast, east to the west coast. Down south, hands up north, hands up, east to the west coast, cause we're about to do the most.
Wow. 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 That was great. Thank you so much for that. That was great.
Yeah.
Yes, I even
Yeah, I really enjoyed
wow.
that, man. You are just, man. What's next? I mean, you've done so much. I mean,
Would you,
who have you worked with?
well,
Celebrities have you choreographed for?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, any big major celebrities you've choreographed pieces for? You know, have you got a chance to work with?
Not yet.
Who's your dream?
Not yet.
Not yet. Would you love? I'm sure you love to work with Beyonce or some of them, right?
Ooh, yes, I would love to choreograph for Beyonce or
Janet Jackson.
I want Usher.
I know.
Yeah, Janet Jackson, but I love me some Usher, you know. I
Usher?
love me some Usher. I mean, I don't mind. I wouldn't mind, but you know, in my earlier days, it would have been Janet, you know. But now, you know, it's on the male side, you
Yeah,
know, choreographing for you know, choreograph for an artist,
yeah.
you know. But I'm not discriminating. You know, I will choreograph for a female artist now. I'm not discriminating.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I think I got somebody who wants to hire you, Donald.
Really?
Yeah.
Somebody who wants to hire me?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, they
That's
need to
great.
hire.
Let's do it.
Yeah, they want to hire you for a piece of choreography or something. Her name is Milli. I'm messing with you, Donald. But we would like to, one day I would like to hire you.
Exactly.
I see our time. Man, you know what, Donald? Our time is coming to an end.
You know, I would do it. I would do it in a heartbeat.
I know it, right?
You know, I would do that in a heartbeat.
Before we wrap it up, Dawn, I want to say thank
Yes.
you so much for being a guest on the show tonight. A big shout out to your manager, Scott Ferguson. He was really instrumental in helping put this together. Any words, any shout outs before we go, Dawn?
Yeah, let me I want to say thank you to my staff here at the West Coast Black Theater, Julia Leach, our CEO, Scott Ferguson, our manager, and Nate Jacobs, our founder, artistic director.
Wow.
great, amazing man
Awesome.
who gives opportunity to young, upcoming, inspiring artists. And when I tell you he is an amazing mentor to these young kids, young adults, he's an amazing mentor to me. You know, he's given me opportunity, like I said earlier, to display my work on this amazing platform we call West Coast Black Theater Troupe. They call our theater the Miracle Theater, Mill, the Miracle Theater, because here we work in spirit. You know, we know that God, you know, we work in spirit here. We work through the L effect. We call it the L effect.
All right. Well, Donald, we thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Got to thank our sponsor again, Aesthetics by Ramil. She brought the show on today for us. So we thank you so much. Again, let's give it up for Frison, world choreographer, renowned dancer, Donald Frison. Thank you so much for joining us. We love you. Keep dancing.